TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donations. Shalom, good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem, and in today's top stories. Israel's leaders hail President Donald Trump's so-called deal of the century as an opportunity of the century, while in contrast, the Palestinian leadership calls for days of rage to protest the American peace initiative. The commander-in-chief of the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps, General Hussein Salami, vows to target both American and Israeli commanders if the United States would continue to threaten top Iranian generals. Iran is reportedly making preparations to launch a satellite into orbit after three major failures to do so last year in defiance of UN Security Council Resolution 2231. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his main domestic rival, former IDF Chief of Staff, Lieutenant General in Reserve Benny Gantz, met with U.S. President Donald Trump at the White House separately yesterday ahead of the formal unveiling of the so-called deal of the century set for 7 p.m. Jerusalem time. During the first meeting between Netanyahu and Trump, the American leader described his initiative as a plan that is very important to peace in the Middle East.
This is a plan that's very important to peace in the Middle East. No matter where I went, they say Israel and the Palestinians, they have to make peace before you can really have peace in the Middle East. So people have been working on this for many, many years, and I think we're relatively close, but we have to get other people to agree with it also. I will say many of the Arab nations have agreed to it. They like it. They think it's great. They think it's a big start. I think it's a big start, too. I think it's a fantastic thing if we can pull it off.
The Israeli premier, who seized the opportunity to reiterate Jerusalem's gratitude of the American president, insisted that Washington's initiative is the opportunity of the century, which the state of Israel is not going to pass by.
Mr. President, I just want to say two things. First, that the deal of the century is the opportunity of a century, and we're not going to pass it by. And we'll talk about that tomorrow. Today, I repeat, I just want to say thank you for everything you've done for the state of Israel. You've been the greatest friend that Israel has had in the White House. And I think tomorrow we can continue making history. Thank you, Mr. President.
I look forward to it. Thank you very much.
When President Trump was asked about whether he spoke with the Palestinians about the initiative, he insisted that ultimately the Palestinians will be forced to negotiate.
It's something they should want. They probably won't want it initially, but I think in the end they will. I think in the end they're going to want it. It's very good for them. In fact, it's overly good to them. So we'll see what happens. Now, without them, we don't do the deal, and that's okay. They're not living well. As you know, we cut off aid to Palestinians, and something I don't like to do, but we did that. And we think that there's a very good chance that they're going to want this. I would say their initial, just as great negotiators, and they are great negotiators, their initial response, and I have no idea what they're going to say, would be, oh, we don't want anything. But in the meantime, they'll be negotiating. So let's see how it works.
Later in the day, Trump met with Netanyahu's main domestic rival, Benny Gantz, to update him on the contents of the American initiative. While their meeting was held behind closed doors, Gantz organized a post-meeting press conference during which he hailed the American leader for his friendship to the Jewish state and referred to Washington's peace plan as a significant and historic milestone indeed. Gantz, who currently heads the largest political party in Israel, Blue and White, pledged to support the Trump administration's peace plan if he would form the next government in Jerusalem after Israel's unprecedented third round of national parliamentary elections, which is scheduled for the 2nd of March.
I just completed an important and exceptional meeting with the President of the United States, Mr. Donald Trump, a true and courageous friend of the State of Israel. The President's peace plan is a significant and historic milestone indeed. Immediately after the election, I will work towards implementing it from within a stable, functioning Israeli government in tandem with the other countries in our region.
Gantz, who was accompanied by his advisor and liaison to the American administration, former Israeli Air Force Commander, Major General in Reserve Amir Eshel, also highlighted an extensive discussion that he held with President Trump about regional security-related challenges.
I thank the President for his profound support of Israel's citizens and for his commitment to their security, particularly in responding to Iran and its terror proxies threatening our borders over the past few years, as well as his decision to recognize Israel's sovereignty over the Golan Heights and for moving the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem. I also addressed the issue of Hezbollah and the increased activity we are witnessing on Syria's and Lebanon's border.
Turning to the West Bank city of Ramallah, where the Palestinian Authority is headquartered, Palestinian Prime Minister Mohammed Shtayyeh condemned the so-called deal of the century as a plan for the self-preservation of both U.S. President Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
إن هذه الخطة التي لا تعطي الأرض المحتلة لأهلها ولا تعترف بحدود عام 67 ولا تعترف بأن القدس أرض محتلة بل تعطيها لإسرائيل عاصمة لها وأصحابها يشنون علينا حرب مالية على وكالة الغوث للاجئين وتغلق مكتب فلسطين في واشنطن وتعمل على تجفيف المصادر المالية للسلطة ما هي إلا خطة لتصفية القضية الفلسطينية ونحن نرفضها ونطالب المجتمع الدولي أن لا يكون شريكا فيها لأنها تتعارض مع أبجديات القانون الدولي وحقوق الشعب الفلسطيني غير قابلة للتصرف.
In light of the latest developments, British Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab called Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas last night, during which the latter informed the top UK diplomat that the Palestinians would not agree to any deal that was put forward by anyone in the world unless the deal would ensure the establishment of a Palestinian state within the 1967 lines and with East Jerusalem as its capital. Abbas went on to say that the Palestinian Authority was prepared to negotiate with Israel using international mediation, but reiterated his rejection to any negotiations that were brokered exclusively by the United States because of what the Palestinians view to be its clear bias in Israel's favor. Meanwhile, 2 days of rage, including today and tomorrow, have been declared by the Palestinian Islamist groups in the Gaza Strip, whereas a day of rage, which received the backing of Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, will be observed this Friday across the West Bank. TV7 did not obtain definitive information at present as to whether the Palestinian leadership has instructed its Western-backed security forces to prevent rioters from clashing with Israeli troops. Senior Palestinian officials have thus far provided us with conflicting information pertaining to the expected severity of the clashes. Turning now to the Islamic Republic of Iran, where the commander-in-chief of the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps, General Hossein Salami, vowed to target both American and Israeli commanders if the United States would continue to threaten top Iranian generals. Salami's threat was made in response to a statement by U.S. Special Envoy for Iran, Brian Hook, who underscored last week that if the new commander of the Iranian Quds Force, Ismail Ghani, would follow the similar path of his predecessor, Qasem Soleimani, he will meet the same fate. In an interview to the Saudi-owned Asharq al-Awsa Daily, Hook underscored that any attacks against American personnel or interests in the region will be met with a decisive response. Meanwhile, the commander of the IRGC vowed that the United States will definitely regret its presence in the Middle East. In related news, dozens of Iranians attended a regime-organized protest in an apparent bid to project the people's backing of rejecting dialogue with the United States. During the protest, American flags were burned and stomped on, while the crowd repeatedly chanted, "Death to America."
که سردار ما رو ترور کردن و رسما هم پذیرفتن و گفتن ما کردیم، دیگه الان حرف از مذاکره زدن فقط خیانت محضه. ما اجازه نمیدیم خیانت رو به کشورمون بکنن. ما اینجا وایستادیم، هیچ وقت اجازه رو نمیدیم.
During the same day, Iranian Foreign Minister Muhammad Javad Zarif addressed a conference that was attended by foreign ambassadors in Iran, during which he repeated the Ayatollah regime's position, which rejects the Trump administration as unreliable.
دولت ترامپ علیرغم ادعاهای خود بارها نشان داده که اعتقادی به مذاکره و پایبندی به تعهدات قبلی و فعلی ندارد.
The Iranian top diplomat also accused the international community of enabling the United States to bully the Islamic Republic.
متاسفانه مواضع منفعلانه کشورها و سازمانهای بین المللی در مقابل قانون شکنی و یکجانبه گرایی ترامپ وی را در پیگیری مشی قلدری جهانی جری‌تر نموده است.
While Minister Zarif condemned the international community for its failure to block the pressure campaign against the Islamic Republic, the country's Revolutionary Guards is reportedly making preparations to launch a satellite into orbit after 3 major failures to do so last year. It is important to highlight the fact that such a launch breaches UN Security Council Resolution 2231 as it uses technology capable of delivering nuclear weapons. Thank you for watching us. You can also watch us at tv7israelnews.com or tv7.fi. For any comments, please send your emails to israelnews@tv7.fi. And I'd like to take this opportunity once again to thank all of our supporters, as your financial donations as well as your prayers are the reason TV7 Israel News is made possible. I'd like to continue to encourage you, pray for the peace of Jerusalem as well as the peace and salvation of Israel. I'm Jonathan Hassan, Erev Tov, and we will see you again tomorrow at the same time.